Leaders. We're going to start with Maša Klemenčič from the Slovenia Tourism Board. Specialist in event management and sustainable tourism development, Maša will share her experiences and expertise in the development and operation of what we think we can call now a critically acclaimed Slovenia Green Initiative, a model for greening a national tourism sector which is praised and replicated in other countries. So, Maša, could you share some insights with the audience, with all of us, in what made Slovenia Green so successful, and also, of course, the challenges you are facing?
Yeah, thank you very much. So, today, seeing as the topic is national schemes, I would mostly like to talk about what we have found and learned during the development of our program, Slovenia Green, because it hasn't just started. It has been running very successfully, very actively since 2015. And today, I would mostly like to talk to you about the development, because our scheme is very different from what it was 8 years ago. In the beginning, our main focus was to get as many members as possible, to get all Slovenian destinations in the scheme, as many businesses as possible. And today, I can say that we were successful when it comes to destinations, because over 90% of all overnight stays in Slovenia happen in destinations that have been certified and have the Slovenia Green label. And this is something we are very proud of, because this Slovenia Green label, based on the Green Destination Standard, really isn't greenwashing. I'm sure that every one of you who knows the Green Destination Standard knows how demanding it is, how much facts it demands, and how much energy and time. So we can really proudly say that Slovenia is going in the green direction. With businesses, we are having more problems, but maybe I will get to that later. From the discussions that we've had during the conference, also yesterday, I see that this isn't just the Slovenian problem. So first, this was my first point. I wanted to say that national schemes, I think they have different steps in development. So ours went from growth to really to development, because today we have to focus on this, on how sustainable tourism is being developed in the destinations that have obtained this Slovenia Green label. It is not the question how to get more destinations, but how to work with the destinations that are already in the scheme and are already acting in a sustainable way. So our main challenge in this area at the moment is that we want this certification, this green certification, to be reflected on the terrain even more. Here we realized that we need to get as many businesses as possible in the green scheme, but also to introduce measurement in the way that Finland is doing, for example, and many other countries, because if you measure, then you know exactly where you have problems and how much you improved on those problems since 3 years ago. Like Lisa said, we talked before the panel. She said that before they thought that the main problem was going to be environment with destinations, that they would get lower scores on environment, but they actually got lower scores on social criteria. And if you don't measure this, then if they didn't measure it, they wouldn't have known it maybe. So I think this is very important, but it is proving to be very complex. So we are setting up a platform that will be ready in 2 years, and we are going to connect it with the Green Destination Standard even more. And then maybe the most important point in developing a national scheme is human resources. I think this is the same for all sectors of tourism, from hospitality especially. We know that at the moment this might be the biggest problem in tourism in general, but also our experience, in managing sustainable tourism. So I'm not working with, with restaurants directly or with personnel in hotels, but I am working with sustainable managers across Slovenian destinations and towns, and the success of the destination really depends on the person who is in charge of the project at the destination. And not only on that person, but also on the mayor, on the people working at the municipality, on how much they recognize tourism to be an important pillar of the economy. In Slovenia, it is an important pillar. It brings almost 10% of the GDP, but many people still don't see it that way. It also depends on the municipality, but many people say, yeah, it's just tourism, we have different, other sources of income like energy, industry, and so on. But tourism really needs to be recognized on the municipal level, on the political level, as one of the main economic pillars. And this is what we are trying to improve at the Slovenian Tourism Board by communicating. We organize meetings with mayors at least once a year. And this year, for example, the main theme was sustainability and green scheme of Slovenian tourism. And we have also found that we need to tell them directly about the importance, about what it brings to the municipality, because otherwise it is too difficult for the green coordinators, the project managers at destinations, to do it for themselves, because their job is, to carry out the measurements, to answer the criteria, to get the label every 3 years. And if their mayors and other people at the municipality, the people from water management or waste management, aren't participating, if they don't understand why this is important, it is very, very difficult for them. And it is going to be difficult for us in the future on the national level, because if the municipalities and the local level doesn't understand the importance of this, they won't be willing to give us the data to finance these programs. So yes, I think this would be the main message that we have learned, that in the end it's all about the people and collaboration on local level and also on the national level, because a lot of people also ask very often, why is Slovenia Green so successful? How did you manage to get almost all of your destinations in the scheme? But it's also because our government understands this, and the Slovenian Green Scheme has been introduced in the national tourism policy for the period 2022 to 2028 as one of the 10 main pillars of tourism development. So it's not just a program by the Slovenian Tourism Board, but it became one of the 10 main pillars of development in Slovenian tourism. And I think this is very, very important in terms of financing, but also in terms of further development. Thank you.
Thank you, Maša, for this extensive introduction about Slovenia Green Program. Then the next is Imbi Lepik-Martinson from Visit Estonia, our valued host of this conference. And with over 2 decades of experience in tourism and regional development, Imbi's role primarily involves facilitating sustainable tourism growth and development in the Estonian context. So Imbi, could you share with us some more about your approach to make the Estonian tourism sector more sustainable?
Wow, that is how long time do I have?
Well, there you go.
Okay, 5 minutes to explain you how we did it. Thank you. I will certainly need some more time to explain it in details, but I would like to just give you some idea where we started and where we are today. So we started up with businesses, and as Green Key, as our main label. So and it was in the beginning of this century already. We have been working with Green Key more than 20 years already. And the number of businesses was growing really nicely in the beginning, but hit some kind of a plateau and stayed there for a long time. And we didn't know what should we do with that in order to get more businesses on board. But with the last 4 or 5 years, I think COVID has the role to play here as well, and general awareness that the labels in the business side have started to grow really rapidly. So During the last years, we have had like 100% of, and more than 100% of rise in the business level. So when we started, we had like 20 certificates, but today we have almost 60. And it's not just the awareness, but it's also support that we give for businesses, because they really want to understand what they are dealing. It's not just to fill the criteria and tell what we do and what we don't do, but it is also a deeper understanding and training what is needed for businesses to work with the criteria for businesses. And in that regard, our DMOs are more and more our important partners to work with businesses, and also to provide the support they need. There we come to green destinations standard. We at one point understood that we need more holistic approach on destination level than just work with businesses, because when we have the visitor coming to the destination, it's not only the accommodation or not only the restaurant that has to be sustainable. It's the whole destination experience is important, and the Green Destination Standard is a really good tool to consider all the aspects. It's hard work, I have to admit. In the beginning, it was like learning by doing. We started up with 7 destinations on that journey, and I must admit we learned a lot during that journey, and I totally agree with Maša that the green coordinators at the destination level are the key persons, and if the persons will change, and it slows the process significantly. But in the destinations where we have a green coordinator for like stable one, then the process is more smooth. But it's not only the green coordinator, it's about the team, it's about the commitment, it's about awareness raising, it's about training, it's about a lot of things. During the first round, I would say that we focused too much on getting the award and not that much about the development. But now, on the second round of preparation to the award, we are focusing more on actions in between the awards, what needs to be done, where are the weak points, where are the priorities. And in that sense, my message to the destinations is always there, that you have to put down your 3 key points, 3 key priorities to work on that, and that's already a good thing. You don't need to do everything at the same time. You can't do it. It's an ongoing process, and yeah, this is what it's important. Oh, I'm on time. Good.
Thank you, Imbi, thank you. So let's move on to our final panelist. Please come to the stage, Katrin Erben from the Austrian National Tourist Office. Katrin is a sustainability expert responsible for driving sustainability, ESG, and corporate social responsibility initiatives within the Austrian tourism industry. Could you explain a little bit more about your experience in the approach in Austria?
Of course, thank you very much. Yeah. My experiences in the approach, I might have to start with that I took over that position that was newly created 18 months ago. So all the things that happened over the last 1.5 years were incredibly challenging, but also incredibly inspiring. We did say, okay, we really want to achieve something together. We want to take the 9 federal states in Austria with us. We want to have the destinations, furthermore also the businesses. And then you start in your position and you just think, okay, how am I going to do that? And the first lesson that I really learned is to listen. To listen what the problems are, to listen what the pain points in the industry are, to listen what can actually be done in the short run, but also in the long run. And that's how we started, creating a strategy for holidays in Austria, for the tourism destinations in Austria, but then also starting a strategy for us as company, as national tourist organizations, just because we really believe that you have to walk the talk. You cannot just tell the industry that's how you behave sustainably. You have to do it yourself, because otherwise you're just seen, especially as a national tourist organization, to be living in an ivory tower and just telling everybody else what's the best thing to do. If you don't start by yourself, you will never be authentic. And I think the most important thing to learn and also to be transparent about is the authenticity, that you really believe in what you're doing, that you really stand behind the things that you're telling. And that's also how collaboration works, because then you gain the trust from the industry. In Austria, as I've already mentioned before, we do have 9 different federal states. 9 federal states with 9 different tourism laws. It's a mess sometimes, to be honest, and it's not always easy to coordinate all that. But if you listen to people, and then we are back again to that topic, you can really see what can be done also together, learn from mistakes from the others, and that does not stop on a destination or on a federal state level. That's also the same with us as national tourist organizations. I'm in a regular exchange with different other national tourist organizations, because in the end, we are all in this together. And I think it's inspiring also to see what the countries around the Baltic Sea are doing, because in the end, we are all in this together. And looking now at South Tyrol sitting there, we have the same challenges. We're facing the same problems. It's the same with Germany. It's the same with Switzerland. It's the same with France. We all believe that tourism has a future, and that future has to be sustainable. It's a big burden sometimes, but it's the most inspiring challenge that you can actually face. But it's only working together. And that's also why I believe that dialogue is the key to success. And just as a small project that we are doing right now in Austria at the Austrian National Tourist Office, and I'm actually very, very proud to be wearing the t-shirt today for the very first time. It's called Change Tourism Austria. It's an initiative, it's a community platform, CTA, where we really bring people together, the industry, the tourism industry, the leaders, innovators, sustainability experts, but also people from other industries, where we can learn together, where we can also work together with startups to really bring benefit to the industry. The community platform is going to be launched next year, but you can already register for that if you're interested. Enough for that. But I really do believe that dialogue and communication is key to success, and is the driver for change. And that's why I believe that Change Tourism Austria is the best project that we can actually work together on. And that's a little bit of the insights of the things that I did and I'm still doing for the last 1.5 years. And being honest and authentic about, I can always tell you, no, it has never been easy. And I hope it will never be easy, because that's why it's worth doing it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katrin. And thank you, the panelists, for providing a beautiful introduction to your own situation.